Folks, I'm going to be honest. I think this is the best podcast I've done till now because my guest for today is none other than Arsh Sharma of the electronic music project FuzzCulture. Formed in the early 2010s, initially as a duo, FuzzCulture is now solely driven by Arsh as a vehicle for a mix of grungy rock music and electronica pop tunes. However, FuzzCulture has also taken a very interesting turn on their YouTube channel lately, as it now also hosts well researched and thoughtful video essays by Arsh on art and creativity in a technology driven capitalistic society. One of those video essays, titled Why Society Hates Artists and Always Has, Against All Odds, became a trending video on YouTube and marked Arsh as a creator on the rise on the platform. So, as someone who has followed Arsh's career for many years, I just had to get in touch with him to talk about a lot of things that include the past, present, and future of fast culture, the video essays, Arsh's experiences in the music business, and so much more. And let me tell you, our conversation quickly evolved into one of the most fun, insightful, and enriching discussions I've ever had on this platform. And I hope you are as excited to watch it as I was making it. So, without further ado, here's me with Arsh of FuzzCulture. Arsh, thank you so much for giving me your time. I'm glad we will finally be able to do this.
Thank you, Sairaj. Thank you for calling me. And I have to say, you're looking very good. From the last time I met you, you've really done some work. No, you're looking damn good.
Oh,
Like
thank you
I
so
think from
much,
many
man.
years ago, when I think we met like in person. Like I think we haven't met in person for a while, right? And
You know
so
what? I
yeah,
think the last time we met was when you did a gig at Blue Frog, Bangalore on Church Street.
exactly. And this is like almost what, 9 years ago, I would say. At this point,
My, you know what? Ever since the pandemic, like time has been dilating like crazy. So I think
dude.
it's
For
probably
me,
nine
sorry,
years
sorry.
only.
Yeah.
No worries.
For me, it's like been we're in 2020, bro. Like we've not shifted since 2020. It's that thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Great. So first of all, congratulations on your pivot to what I would call professional yapping, YouTube video essaying. And also congrats on being a trending creator. I'm sure that meant a lot to you.
To be honest, man, that it meant a lot to me. Firstly, for two things. Firstly, when you like, it's not like I've shifted from music to talking. Like that's not what
Mhm.
I'm doing. Like the way I'm looking at
Mhm.
it is like the talking is like top of the funnel type of stuff where
Mhm.
I try and talk about overarching themes I see in music and uh in music and art and like the struggles of us creators, especially having been doing this my entire life, right? And
Mhm.
that kind of funnels into my music. So and it was more like a because if you remember, you might remember, might not, that I had actually started this as a 52 weeks challenge that I had put a song
Mhm.
out and a video out
Mhm.
every week, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
26 weeks into it, and I was like, I'm just like, out of the 26 songs I've put out, I would have put out only six or seven on my own.
Mhm.
Some of
Right.
them were filler, they weren't that great, you know. While we're
Mhm.
talking, we have way more ideas than, and songs need time, they need patience, they need like a little bit of craft, right? So I was like, hey, अब you come back to once a month, then again you're kind of fucked, right?
Mhm.
You're like once a month doesn't mean anything, like, you know, then again you're losing traction. So I was like, I think a lot. Matlab, every song I made, I have like 280,000 conceptual ideas on why we are doing this. And
Right.
anyway, when anyone gets into a room with me, the only one who talks is me, unfortunately. So I was like, might as well just do this in front of a camera, like, you know, articulate it and like just put it
Mhm.
nicely. So, you know, and it
Uh,
meant a lot to me. It was very overwhelming. I did not expect it at all. Like the some of the response I
mhm.
got on YouTube. Instagram still
Mhm.
no one cares at all, but YouTube
Mhm.
definitely, you know. Yeah.
Were there like within the response, were there any people who like found you through that video essay and were like, "Hey, you do music as well." Did you see any of that
I
happening?
actually have had a massive bump in my streams from that.
Wow.
Yeah. So because the way I actually, if you see my video essays, the 10-minute ones, what I do is I'm like, this is about art. This is a large conceptual thing which I feel and I want to talk about. And at
Mhm.
the end of it, like I'm very clear about it. Like this, I'm an artist talking about this as something which affects all artists and us artists and something I have seen because like at this point it's been 18, 19 years doing this professionally, right? And
Mhm.
like Yeah, so like I've met so many artists, I've worked with so many people in the studio, I've seen people go through struggles, I've gone through my struggles, right? And you kind of develop a understanding of the mental makeup that I think any creative person has, right?
Mm.
So my thing was to kind of so I'm very clear about my positioning that I'm a musician who's been here and like I talk about music, about the struggles of us as creative people as a
Yes.
collective and what I feel I have seen. I may be incorrect. I may be completely wrong in my thesis. I'm not here like being truthful. Not true. I'm being truthful to what I know. Like there may be things I
Mm.
don't know, right? And and at the end of it, my videos always end with like, thank you for watching, and like if you liked it, like here's my song or here's some of my work which I'm proud of and I want to show you. So if you're interested at
Mm.
the end, because अगर 9 मिनट तक आपने वीडियो देख लिया, अगर आपको
Mm.
थोड़ा सा और इंटरेस्ट है, तो this is also what I do, right? And
Mm.
I've actually seen a lot of outpouring for my music. Like it's been very nice. And I also think that I found the right funnel because like with the way fuzz culture music is, it is like playlisters and A&R people just keep trying to fuck it up. Like, because they're like,
Mm.
hey, man, it's not fucking techno, so it's not a dancey set, but it is dancey, but it's not a rocky set. It's
Mm.
like it lives in the middle of a lot of disciplines, right? Which is for me is like the idea of music, right? Okay, we push things, we try to do things, we experiment every time is a new challenge, right? So I think yeah, I've actually seen quite a big trickle down, to be honest, which I've been proud of. Like I've been
Uh,
very touched by, honestly.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic. I
yeah,
love to
yeah.
hear that. So
Hmm.
let's rewind the clock back a bit. And I like to go through your career in chronological order in this
Yeah,
little
yeah,
chat. All right.
yeah.
So, what were the origins of fuzz culture? How did fuzz culture start?
Dude, fast culture, matlab origins, like you have to think. For me, I'll tell you where the origin started. Like college, I was in a band called The Circus, which was me, Abhi Curtain Blue, Anshul, Abhinav Chaudhary. We started doing well with The Circus. 2011 or 12, I graduated from architecture college and I was getting into music production. So
Mm.
I wanted to set up a studio. So me and Srijan Mahajan from Parikrama, like him and me started working together. So we were like, "Hey, let's have a studio and let's have an act, right?" So Fuzz Culture started in 2012 as a part of an extension of Studio Fuzz, which was our studio at that time. So we did commercial work, and Fuzz Culture became kind of its front-facing type of thing, you know.
Mm.
And around 2020, me and Srijan parted ways, so like I kind of continued the Fuzz Culture journey on, and he's doing really well and amazing work with. Have you heard of
Mm.
Pause? Like Pause is the mental health for thing. Like he set up a mental health startup, and he's doing some really
Uh,
good work.
no, no, I haven't. But if you want to tell me about it, please do.
No, no, that's Region's thing. So you can just look it up,
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
he's doing well and like yeah, like I wish him a lot of success, man. So we started it as a two-piece around
Mm.
in 2012, which was in the middle of the circus career.
Mm.
Then 2019 or 20, it became like a solo thing. And since then it's been progressing in the way it has been. So that's the I don't know if that answers the question. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it kind of like goes like a few steps ahead of what I was going to ask you, but I will get
Yeah.
into it right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So, why did the transition from you and Srijan to solo happen? Like, what caused that?
Yeah, I think at that time, basically, like we came to Bombay, we were working in Bombay together,
Hmm.
and we wanted to do different directions. So I was like, hey, you keep the studio stuff. Like we had started two organizations together. One was Fast Culture, one was Studio First. So I was like, you continue with the studio for work, you do this, and I'll continue with Fast Culture because like Fast Culture for me was always the project where I was writing, I was really passionate about, and like for me, it's like kind of like it was kind of entwined with my identity at that point of time because like like I was doing a lot of heavy lifting on the writing and taking it wherever it needed to go, and we were partners in both these things and. Yeah, Bombay mein when three of you live together in a house, like you can have a point of time where you're like, should we do this together? Should we move out? Plus like with rents, with three people staying, like people's directions change. So like it was a split, but it wasn't an acrimonious split. It was a logical, like maybe we need to just look at where we want to take things. Should went from a duo to just me at that point, yeah. And
Okay.
whereas like you, yeah. Basically we had two businesses and we split them, and like Studio Fuzz went with him, Fuzz Culture went with me. That's how it kind of like went from there,
Oh,
you know.
so it's kind of like you two had two children and one went with you and one went with him.
Yeah. We picked the child we liked more and we kept it. You know, like I was like, bro, first culture is like I write my hearts out. यार lyrics पढ़े यार गानों के रो रहा हूँ मैं गानों में बैठ के. So like so it was like it's like it's too much of my it's like I'm an overprotective mother, man, hen with my first culture. So like I do everything I can to protect the damn thing. Yeah.
Okay. So let's get to the first album of Fuzz Culture, which was No. Now,
Yeah.
the most remarkable thing for me about that album, like apart from the music, obviously, was that it
Mhm.
was released through UMG, Universal Music Group.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
that is
yeah,
a big deal for any album by any artist, Indian or whatsoever, let alone a debut
yeah,
album. So,
yeah.
like, how did you manage to get that deal for your debut album?
Yeah, honestly, we'd done a EP before that called Indulge Divulge, right? And that time UMG had a thing called Contraband. So they were looking for artists who had fresh, slightly interesting sounds. And
Hmm.
that time, after our EP, which came out in 2014, which was Indulge Divulge, we
Hmm.
won like a VIMA award for Thank You for Existing in Malaysia. We started traveling a little around the world to play some gigs. And
Hmm.
then I sent the demos to Universal and they were like, this is really fresh. So, like, we
Hmm.
want to get this on. And this was a deal they had called Contraband at that point in time. This was again pre-streaming. So, this was actually the time when Universal and all the labels were trying to gather their footing, like, figure it out. Like, right now, if you see all the major labels, they have a much more commercial sound. Like, for example, like an album like No is
Hmm.
not something, like, if you listen to the record, it's not something you will get on any commercial label now. Because commercial labels have figured that this is not the sound which
Hmm.
is massy, right? So like it was a time of experimentation for even the labels, and I'm very glad to have had that. And I actually met like Devraj and Subarna and their team at that point, and they were quite receptive, man, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when you start out as an independent artist, how
Hmm.
does making, distributing, and performing music change when you sign with a major record label? Because I think you're in a unique vantage point to explain that to people who, are curious about what that's like or are aiming for that but haven't done it yet. So how does that change? What changes in that equation?
Yeah, it depends. See, firstly, you have to realize that labels, like, what does a label do, right?
Hmm.
A label is fundamentally, imagine, like, if I had to think of labels, like, I'm also very deep into studying macroeconomics and like investments and that, like, I study money a lot, like,
Hmm.
and so a label is fundamentally like what do I call it? Like, imagine a mutual investment, mutual fund, which only invests in ultra, like, small caps. Or it's actually, oh, like, fuck that also. It's a private equity firm. Like a major label is fundamentally private equity. So what they're doing is they are like gathering various artists, right? So like an artist like me, which had an experimental sound, to someone like Arijit, who will hit, right? Then according to their judgment of how much they think we can blow up, they will put some money behind it. Now, what happens when the money gets put is either that one, it may be like 1 lakh for an artist who's small. I'm making figures up, right? Like, matlab, like it's much more generally, but like it's, let's say, X amount of money for a smaller artist, 10x for a bigger artist. If that 10x becomes 12x, they know they can push this further. If they put 1x and they took a bet on like an artist like me and it didn't turn into 2x, they're like a bad investment, right? So the first thing an artist has to look at it is that, like, especially in now, like even more than 2016, because 2016 also, like, they were doing 360 kind of artist development deals. Okay, you get on it, they'll try and sell your record labels, they'll try and get it everywhere, right? And they'll try and sell your albums. There's a bit of artist development happening to now where it's pure private equity. It's like you're looked at like a stock. So either you go up or you go down. If you make money, there's more money, there's more help. Now, in that also there are two variables, right? Which is like, okay, you went from one to two. How did you do it? Did you do it via your own music or did you do it via our input, right? So there are A&R labels and sorry, A&R guys and labels. There are multiple teams working. So it's like a, did you make the jump from one to two depend on what you are doing or
Mhm.
what I am suggesting you to do. Depending on that, you will be forced into one or the two corners. Okay, like okay, let's now you need more collabs, you need more producers, you the vision is our producers thing, like type of thing. So you go that way. But if you're making one to two to three on your own, then you become kind of an asset which they trust, right? And if you don't go from one to two and you grow from one to, matlab it's a loss. Like they invested a bunch of money on you and you didn't recover it, then you'll have a hard time getting them on the call also, man. So like you could be signed and yet never be able to get a meeting with them because
Oh,
you have to think of like, although I always got meetings with them. Devraj is an amazing guy, right? Subarna also, like Arena were great, but fundamentally it's private equity here. You have to look at it. You have to look at yourself like a business, and how would a private equity invest in it? You know, that's it. Like so.
okay. And this is one other thing I'm curious about with the major record label situation. Who owns the rights to the music fundamentally in your experience when an artist signs with a major record label and suppose they put
You
an album out?
always you always own your IP, right? But
Mhm.
you sell your publishing. So you create deals of how much like are the splits. So the more so they own the master. So for example, this is the fundamental difference which you have to think about. Intellectual property and masters are separate. Master is the final printed file. It is
Mhm.
the one Billie Jean MP3 that all of us listen to.
Right.
Right. That master is owned by the label, right?
Mhm.
And then now we have a licensing split on it, or we have a split on like how much money they get versus how much money I get, right? Then
Mhm.
some major labels also want your IP, which is like all the things you wrote while you were doing it. So it depends on the deal you strike with. Generally, what happens is that, like for example, if I can't perform a lot of my major label tracks on podcasts or stuff because your podcast will get flagged and taken down. Also because you didn't do their prior permission and it didn't go through them, right? So they're great at tracking stuff like that also, but yeah, so they own the masters.
Mhm.
Depending on what deal you struck, it depends on how much intellectual property you own or not. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, this is just me being a little cheeky. Did Devraj go like this when he heard your music for the first time?
No, no, man. Devraj is cool. Like, don't like. I like, dude. Devraj, like, like one thing with Devraj, like with interacting with him, like I felt that like he's always got his heart on his sleeve and his heart is in the right place and he wants to
Yeah.
make Universal big and he wants to do like cool things and like he's all out on support, man. He's a good guy. Like
Hmm.
like I
Okay.
know that much. He's a good guy.
Yeah, yeah. There's a note this to Devraj on
Yeah,
the off chance that he is watching. Like,
yeah,
we love you, we appreciate you, and I actually
yeah,
liked your supporting set at I think it was Metallica or yeah. I liked the supporting set.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the touring bit. You've toured a good number of countries. So are there any particular tour stories or touring moments that stand out from that particular time?
Yeah. Actually, right now, my only tour story in my head is I want to get back on tour, but this time I'm doing it slowly. Like, I'm going to do it like if it's a profitable venture. Like, like I still can tour, I have touring opportunities, but I'm like, let's make the back end worth touring for. There's no point just traveling abroad and being like, look, I went to the UK and I played fucking whatever country, and there were like 10 people everywhere. So I want there to have some traction before if we do it again you know. But my favorite touring story was, I think, Music Matters. We were playing Music Matters in Singapore, and
Mhm.
after the gig, I got really drunk, and then like I was coming back home. Srijan was already back in the hotel, and I
Mhm.
got was coming back, and I fell on the pavement, and I fucking blew my entire this side. So I was bleeding
Oh dear.
at 4 a.m. drunk out of my brains in Singapore. And I wake up season and there's blood everywhere. He's like, I'm like, bro, I'm so drunk. Like walking like this in the room. He rushes me to a hospital. The hospital did not operate on me for 6 hours because they were like, I cannot have alcohol content above a certain amount in my
Hmm.
system for them to stitch my eyebrow together or whatever. So I was laying in the ICU for like 6 hours, like, just looking at like nothing. And then they were like, huh, what's happening? And then they were like, okay, we can stitch you up now. And I had no insurance. That was a very, very expensive fall, man. Like,
So they had to
and
like wait for you to sober up before like stitching you up.
yeah, yeah. And then this entire eyebrow, man, is like fully, it's got stitches from here to here.
Oh
Luckily, my
dear.
hair covers up everything, so you can't see, like, it is covered by massive amounts of hair, but this whole eyebrow is stitched up in Singapore
Hmm.
by a doctor waiting to sober me up. And we had a gig the next day.
Oh wow.
So this is like, so like, I am getting stitched, and my glasses are broken, some of my backup glasses. We landed
Hmm.
up for the gig. We played a great gig, but like, like, it was like full on, like, yeah.
Okay. And getting to your other albums and EPs after that. Now, from when
Yeah.
I listen to all the music, this may just be my perception, but it feels
Yeah.
like the albums like No and Escape to Where You're Wanted have more of that rock influence, whereas the EPs like Twins and Violent Delights are more like experimental and offbeat. So am I
Yeah.
on base here?
Yeah, you are, but honestly, like, it's what I feel is the best at that time. All of them, like, if I wrote an album instead of an EP, like, it's not like I don't think of it as experimental. I think of it as like, this is the album I would want to put out. Like, if
Right.
you hear Strange Cities, like, Strange Cities is literally like a jazz electronica record, right?
Hmm.
Like pop jazz type of vibe. So it's more like where I am at that point, and now I'm at that point where I want to mix all these influences again. So
Hmm.
we are coming into more album type thinking, but it's just a point of what those that 1 year of writing sessions turn out to be. Because like I also have like if you're working like if you're working as a musician with me, it's kind of weird because like the starting point for everything fresh is we need one or two new pieces of gear.
Hmm.
We need to delete all our old patches. No presets are saved. Nothing, no vocal chains are saved. It's all fresh. And we start, and if we've done something before, we don't do it the same way again. So it's also the experiment is just in the fact that there are like I set a bunch of rules at the starting of each thing. कि ये जो किया है ये फिर से नहीं करना. Right? So that kind of pushes it in like its ins and outs. Like I honestly like Violent Delights, like I think that's a very cool EP in my opinion. Like, but like I think like it's so synth heavy and it's got so much futurism and like dystopian type vibes. Like it's like, like it's a like I thought it was a very interesting EP from my end. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Violent Delights, like again, in my observation from the research that I've done, it's also the point of time where you start doing all the music videos like yourself. Like in the credits, like
Yeah.
only you are in the credits. So like how did you learn to do all of that filmmaking and post-processing like all on your own from that time onwards?
Yeah, so I'll tell you what happened. Like 2.5 years ago, I had a conversation like with my management at Drumroll, please. You were talking about, we were just thinking like how like acts who are making it or kind of scaling up their work. They have an insane amount of work going in, right? Like so, even let's say like a major label artist, you'll see a lot of us actually mistake the fact, for example, like how marketing works. Like major label acts, you'll see an artist with only two or three videos on the Instagram, but they've actually bought off and paid like thousands of meme pages for sharing
Mm,
other people's reels and stories. So a gym bro will be fucking like running and your song will be playing. Some person will be painting and your song will be playing. These are all bought. Like thousands and thousands of reels across the system are bought by major labels so that even so the artist page shows that there's only one piece of content on the artist page, it's being back pushed by thousands by an entire system on the
mm,
outside, so what we realized was that then I started doing some study on YouTube and like on analytics, and it's a very scary analytic, like, but I'll tell you the average monetized channel on YouTube has 880 videos on average.
Wow.
So think of that number, right? So now I was like, "Ki, okay, fuck this." So that means, ki, chalo, let's say, ki, even if I want Spotify to give me some attention or some algorithmic traction in what we're doing, I need to be putting out at least a video a month, right? Like at least now, if I'm doing a video a month, or let's say even if I want to do eight, that time I wasn't thinking of talking heads at all. I was like, "Ki, if I have to put 8 to 10 or 12 videos a year out for the sustained traction to happen. And I'm going independent because I don't want to do label till we get a base. Like if a label comes in, I'd want to have a relationship on this thing of what I've already built up, rather than ke, hi, we're making a relationship. Can you make this type of music? Or you can't, we fire you. Like which is how what happens with labels, right? So so that means I have to invest in 10 to 12 videos a year. 10 to 12 videos a year if I want to make it half decent with a half decent crew, right? It's going to cost me 2L to 3L a video. So I'm looking at 40 lakhs a year on this. So I
Wow.
was like, 40 lakhs a year to have a sustainable music business, right? Like let's say 2 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs on a music video, 50,000 bucks to promote it, right? सोशल मीडिया मार्केटिंग कुछ आती नहीं है तो वो हायर करना है बंदा तो 3 साढ़े 3 लाख तो रुपए गए ना महीने के कहाँ से आएंगे इतने पैसे यू नो इट्स अ लॉस मेकिंग बिजनेस सो I was like in 40 lakhs I can set up and I can buy a house and fucking set up an amazing studio you know so like it's a skill set issue, right? Like I don't have the skill set to be to be a videographer. I don't have a skill set to be an animator, but I am an architect by education. I've been to design school, so like it's not like my eyes are insensitive to design and movement and movie because and I've been scoring movies my entire life. So it's like I know how it should look. I don't know how to operate it at all. So I was like, "Ki, I'm not going to spend 40L a year. Like, I'll just like, if that's the content demand, like, I'd rather just learn it myself and have a good time. It's just a learning curve. And like, and I put the learning curve out there. Like, the first videos seem that I'm learning. The recent videos will look better. Like, it looks like there's a transition happening. So I'm like, it's okay. Like, yeah. It was fundamentally like I didn't have the skills, but also the thing was like with music videos, I've always had a very direct idea of what I want. And when I work with people, I love the people I work with, but they're not inside my head. And my head is very weird, right? You look at the Violent Delights video, like there are just random shots of iguanas, right? Like in
Yeah,
the
there is.
video.
There is.
And the iguana has a surrealistic moon coming up. It's like in my head, like I've grown up in design and art school, right? So like and I have a very particular sensibility, which is like it's slightly dark, it's slightly morbid, it's slightly humorous. Like it's very hard. Like I need one person with me to kind of imagine this with me to build up these worlds. And if I don't, I think it's just like the quality can improve, but at least signature wise, it feels like the whole product has come from this one place rather than like a song and video mismatch, which happens a lot.
Let's stay on the topic of the videos for a bit because the videos, in my personal opinion, are like very cool. Like some of my favorites are like Breeze, Toast of the Town, and
Yeah,
With Open Eyes and all those
yeah.
videos. So, is there like any particular memory that sticks out from filming any of those videos? Any moment of like jugaad or like some fun stuff that happened while filming any of those videos?
Yeah, man. Like they're all different. Like the Breeze was done by this director Barun. He's an amazing director. I also think Priyasha was in the video. She did an amazing job. Priyasha is like an amazing actress, and like we were honored to have her like be a part of this. And
Mhm.
like the whole thing, like that was like done really. Like the shoot was really professionally done. Like we got out this place, we built out the whole thing. Like we built in the room, we made the set
Mhm.
and then we kind of like Barun kind of wanted to direct it like there's a AI digitalized version of me that's having a having a conversation. It's kind of like how all of us use Chat GPT now that
Mhm.
we are friends with Chat GPT. So what I like about some of our videos is that they're kind of prescient, like ahead of time almost. So
Mhm.
Breeze was like that this girl who doesn't go to the house, but her only friend is this AI avatar, and I am that AI avatar, right? And this was like 20. I don't know, 2, 3 years ago, before ChatGPT. And then the whole video was just like her dancing, and like the room goes from white to black, and by the end of, so you start from the bed and end at the bed. So it's a very
Mm.
like it's a very choreographed type of sequence. So that was all them, man. The only thing I remember is the shoot got so long, and we were shooting in RA, like RA, in the hills, right? Where they have a lot of rental spaces. I forgot where you can get type of when you can shoot. So there was another shoot happening in a couple of houses down the road. And at 5:30 a.m., I became a bit of like an like I just got into some khurafati mood, which I get into sometimes. And
Mm.
basically, there was a team coming for like, if you want to shoot here. So I just gave like at least 30, 40 people the directions to the wrong location.
Mm.
So, like, I was just sitting on, I'm like, no, no, the shoot's not there. The shoot is there, and the shoot was there. So like at 5:30 a.m. And then बाद में Sabi comes out and is like, bro, ये क्या कर रहे हो आप? This is very bad. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I know, but I'm really enjoying it. Like,
You
it's
know,
like that.
mm.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's interesting you say that that's what Breeze is about because when I first saw it, I thought Breeze was a commentary on stan culture. Like the woman in the video was like standing you, and you were in the digital avatar. So that's the way I saw it. Like, is there any
That's
validity
great,
to that?
man.
Yeah.
That's eight. No, I have not thought of it like that. So that's killer. Like my idea with Varun was just what I told you about. That was what we were going for.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's great. Like yeah. Toasted Town was again Delhi. We shot it in a Delhi studio, and I got all my friends. Rahul is also in the video, like from Bloodywood. We were doing his album at that time, so he's the one with he's
Mm.
the guy who's got the anonymous mask, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
then yeah, then I got a bunch of dancers who were my friends in the video. Then I got all my friends. What we did was we got the studio, got everyone to get vapes and fill the place up with smoke, and we shot it. So it was like a really fun, like kind of. I think everyone got a fucking nicotine high that day, like from that like track. Then our video for Nicotine was shot by Fahad, and that we did in a warehouse. That was also really fun.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, they've all been fun stuff. Then last 2 years, I've just been doing everything on my own. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, but who was that old man in With Open Eyes? He's my favorite
I
member
have
of the
no
Fuzz
idea.
Culture universe. No?
I have no idea, bro. Like basically, like this was a Universal video, so Universal asked us, "Okay, do you want to be in the video?" I'm like, "Not really." Like they were like, "Can we
Okay.
make a video?" I'm like, "Okay." Then they just shared the product with us, and I was like, "Fine, good." I was just like, there were a lot of hot dancing girls in the original one, right?
Yeah.
So I was just like, "Can we reduce the number of hot girl takes and make a little more story?" Like, because I'm feeling a little weirded out by that. And that's it. Like, so they just did that edit, and then the video kind of flew off. Like, I don't even know where it was shot, what was done. I just know the director, and that's it. Like, that
Also,
was
like,
like
so apart from the suggestion about the dancing girls, there was no input from you at all.
no, the story the director had shared with me, and I like the story of this being the last day of an old man's life, right? And
Mm.
he's like,
Right.
if fuck this, I'm gonna have a great time, and I'm
Mm.
gonna go out, and I'm like, it's interesting. Like, if someone asked me it's one day of your life, I would be like, put me under some aurora borealis or something, with clouds and colors changing. But the guy
Yeah.
want to go drink and punch and like have some hot girls with him and feel like a 18-year-old, like Dan Bilzerian. And like I'm like, for sure, do it. Like, they were like, we'll get the Grim Reaper in the end who comes to take us. So I'm like,
Yeah.
done. तो कर भाई Grim Reaper ला बाकी सब सही है
Okay. So from that, let's go on to what I think is the most fascinating experiment you've done through your music and your content, which is, as we touched on in the beginning of this interview, 52 weeks, 52 songs, 52 videos. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell made you do this, and how the hell were you able to execute as much as you did in that experiment?
I was like, see, I wanted to put out more stuff constantly. I did not like before till that time our Instagram and the way we were approaching social media was much more, "Okay, I'll take a photo of myself. Here's me playing my guitar. Here's me." like teaching you something or doing some like because I'd also done an educational series called Music Production Hacks with FuzzCulture like 3 4 years ago, right? But I was like, I did not like doing the educational series at all because I think like I'm like kind of a big picture type of guy and not a like even though I know the technicalities, but that's not what I'd like to talk about. Like I'd like to talk about okay, what's the point of making music? Like that's the kind of conversation you'll end up with me on, right? So I want to do like a 52 videos, so I was like, "Hey, let's try doing content weekly again. But I can't do content yet. I don't know what to do, right? But I would want to make music and I want to do stuff that's fun. It was a way for me to elevate my basically, I looked at it as a process that even if it completely falls flat on its face, which it did, right? That it elevates my visual aesthetic. It makes me better at my software. I have a deadline every week along with my work. So I kind of get used to working 60, 70, 80 hours a week on my music, like, for video plus commercial clients, right? Because otherwise, like we all say that we want to post like 5 times a week, but we can't because it's a stamina thing, right? So the whole thing was like it was like a stamina exercise, and I want to do in public because in public, then if you fail, you can't crawl up your own hole, right? Like you have to kind of like just commit to it and do it, although
Yeah,
no one
it
cares.
adds
But
an
like
element of accountability.
yeah,
People
yeah.
will
So the
notice if
accountability
you are
was
slacking or if you fail.
yeah, and then like and honestly, after 26 weeks, I failed. I didn't complete it, right?
Hmm.
So 26, I did 26 weeks continuously. 27th week is when I shifted to talking also, right? Because I was like, okay, this is not sustainable because I don't mind putting out a music video every week, but I want my music to be good. Like, I can live with a talking video where I spoke something stupid, but like I'd want the music to, at least in my opinion, be as good as possible. So, yeah. So it
Okay.
was yeah. So that's why I kind of pivoted at that point. Yeah.
Well,
But
so
26
okay.
weeks in.
Okay, so was the
Yeah.
burnout from that experiment a part of the reason why you went into the talking head arc of the first culture videos? Like, what
100%.
what what caused
100%.
that transition? Like, tell me about that transition to the talking head videos.
I wanted to do Talking Head, but I wanted to do Talking Head at the end of 52 weeks. Like in 1 year, I'll do that and then I'll start talking and I'll practice. So while I was doing those videos, I was anyway scripting at the back end. I was
Hmm.
learning how to talk on camera, like because it's a very weird thing to talk to no one. Like we are
Hmm.
conversing right now, it's natural, right? But like if I'm, let's say, talking and like I'm presenting myself to a camera and there's no one there. Like, even let's say if you're a presenter on a stage, like you'd have a certain arc in which you'd speak. So I didn't know how to do that. So I was already practicing it and I wanted to start this year, July or something. कि मैं ये 52 weeks खत्म करूंगा फिर करूंगा ये शुरू. Like, and then I'll have one video a month and 3 4 talking heads. But I pivoted to that faster because yeah, making music videos is a lot of work because it's not a lot of work, yeah. It's the work is not the problem. The problem is creative flow, and if like a music video comes out which you don't enjoy, right? Like if you feel that you could have done better, like I feel that kind of like it affects me quite a bit, which I realized. So the work was a lot, then the fact that I'm a perfectionist pushed me to complete burnout. And like I was pretty honest about it at that point also, like even online everywhere, like that okay, guys, like I'm fucked. Like anxiety and depression are happening. So like so that was like, and plus no traction. Like I realized like my YouTube had a minus 10 follower subscriber count for the 6 months I did that. I gained
Oh,
zero followers. Yeah.
you
Zero
lost
traction. Like my
followers.
singles, I lost followers. Like like it had no positive impact on anything. So like the thing is that also, for example, like if I do something and I get some positive feedback, like you're already doing like you're burning yourself on both candles. But if I even get कि beta well done, तो
Hmm.
भी निकल जाता है आदमी. Like like just a slap of validation is enough to kind of push you forward. But I just felt like I was burning myself into a black hole, bro. So like that's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
reason for which.
I mean, people underestimate. the value of like positive feedback and validation. There are a lot of people out there, like even in my experience. Now,
Yeah.
I haven't done half as much as what you've done, but
Okay.
from speaking from my personal experience and my
Yeah.
interview series so far, I have gotten so much more, not only positive feedback, but direct feedback also. Like people actually going out of their way to
Yeah.
like message me saying like, hey, your interviews are really cool. You're asking lots of interesting questions. And I remember before that, I did something along the lines of what you did, which was that every Monday I posted a singing video. And I put
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Yeah.
lot into those singing
Yeah.
videos. Like I like even in the song selection, like
Mm.
in the singing and the quality of the backing tracks also.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if I really got like any traction from that. But
Yeah.
after I started doing the interviews and then like doing the reels,
Yeah.
people started taking notice. So like people
Because
really
conversations
underestimate the
started happening
value of
now.
that. Sorry.
Yeah. I also think that like when you speak like yeah, they really underestimate. Like there is a bit of a thing, and I don't think it's people's fault because I think when you talk, you're automatically engaging into a conversation. So the only way someone can engage is in a comment or to message you that man, this meant something to me or it didn't, right? But
Mm,
or argue with you, so they engage. Like whereas like a film is or like a film or a piece of music or a music video, it's a
mm,
one-way conversation. Like for example,
right.
when we talk, right, like even if you talk to a camera alone or you have a conversation, a person
Mm,
feels like they're a part of it, so there's
right.
a incentive to engage, right?
Mm,
Whereas in a music video or in a music format, what's happening is that I think it's a very one-way form of communication. So in a one-way form of communication, you are speaking to an audience, but like for example, like sometimes I also feel that people don't know what to say. Like, like did they like it or not? It's also the thing with music is like it's also abstract, right? It has to really touch people for it to mean
mm,
something. It's like it's
yes.
way more abstract, it's way more meta. It's not that direct, which is why it is the most beautiful thing on the planet. Let's just be honest. Like, music is
Mm,
like, it's gorgeous. Like, music and art, like, is the reason why any of us should be alive. Everything else sucks. You know, like, but like, it just, I just think that, yeah, like, uspe, that's why music and art, like, have that type of thing that either everyone loves it or no one gives a shit. There's no middle in it, and
yes,
that's the,
exactly.
yeah. Like either it'll do well or it'll be like whatever. Like thank you for your effort. And
Yeah,
people kind of
and
like
yeah, and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, go
sorry to
on.
cut you off. And it's not only that, you know,
Hmm.
I feel that a lot of people also very unfairly romanticize doing art for the love of the game and not expecting any, positive value or remuneration or praise from it. People think like,
It's absolutely it's nonsense. Exactly. It's nonsensical. Sorry, I cut you also.
yeah, go
That
ahead, go
like
ahead.
कि bro, matlab, if I was doing art for myself, if I made music for myself, why would I put it out on social media?
Hmm,
Why would I go through the trouble of mixing, mastering something, putting it out through an aggregator, putting it on YouTube, working hard on a video? It is because through art we are expressing in the hope that we can meet someone to communicate with, right? And
hmm,
like it's a cry for communication. It's a cry, it's a very honest cry. It's like this is what I do from my heart. I hope this touches your heart, and if it touches your heart, then we can all get together, and together we all find this. That's why it's an amazing experience when people connect to what music you put out, right? So like art for the love of it would not be very good because it you would never because the reason why we push ourselves when we're putting music out there is to communicate what we want to express as well as possible. That's why we go for
hmm,
mixes and masters and we think about ki acha kyun nahi bura nahi, because that's the language of communication, right? The finesse of the product, right? Like when you're doing art for your own self, you'll just do it for half an hour and fuck it. Like, that's the difference. Like, so art is absolutely about expressing and communicating and having a feedback dialogue with people. It's not for yourself. It's never is. Like if it was, you'd never put out anything, you know? Like the minute you put out something, you want a response. Like when I know that I did something which made you feel something, I feel good, so I do more of it and I try to push myself. And then you are with me, and together we have this back and forth. I mean, it's like it's like having a crush on someone, right? It sucks if no one loves you back, bro. Like, like you- like
Oh
मतलब I
man.
like you, कुछ नहीं मिल रहा भाई. Thank you. मैं बड़े प्यार में हूँ. मतलब what a stupid idea, man.
Yeah, one-sided relationship.
Yeah, yeah. मतलब like of course we want like feedback and positive feedback and like of course it's about like people. Of course it's about people coming on board. Like anyone I think who says that I do it just for myself while they put it out is lying. Then why would you put it out? There's no reason to
True.
put it out, you know?
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so now that we're into your recent videos, take me through what was going on in your head when the Why Society Hates Artists video started blowing up. So, what was going on in your head at the time?
Blowing up or when I was making it? Which time do you which one
When
do you
it when
want?
it when it started blowing up after you were putting it out, when it got on the trending tab and all of that.
Yeah. I had no expectation. I have never been overwhelmed in my life, but I got really overwhelmed. And especially like the fact that it touched so many people. And then like, like generally, like, I'm searching for my phone, भाई कोई comment कर दे, दो comment आ जाए, एक comment आ जाए. You like, somebody show some love, like generally that's how, like anyone who puts out stuff knows the feeling of going and checking for comments and likes, right? And, and suddenly, instead of that, it was just like message after message after message. Like every time I pick up my phone, it'd be 20 messages. Like, every 2 minutes. Like it just like, and that was for a week or 10 days. It just kept running. And people like were just pouring their hearts out, man. Like, and like, I think like, it actually got me very emotional, man. Like, firstly, I didn't know how to handle it. So, like, see, like, I'm a guy who works well with rejection. I can work very hard under pressure. I have no problem with rejection. Like I've worked with clients also for so long, and you know what it is like. It's like ये नहीं अच्छा, ये नहीं अच्छा, ये नहीं अच्छा, चलो अभी अच्छा. So you're used to like that type of like 8 hits, 2 wins, you move on. Like that's the type of life I'm kind of used to. But to see so much like and people just pouring out their life stories and feeling like connected to something which for me these are just concepts that I've been thinking for a long time and verbalizing in my head and like I was overwhelmed and firstly I actually got anxious. I couldn't sleep for a week because like I would want to respond to everything because it's like a drought, right? कि रेगिस्तान में चल रहे थे 8 महीने कुछ नहीं था. Suddenly you got water, so you just dipped into the fucking pool, and I'm commenting to everyone. And like I like being interactive. Like a lot of people say, you don't need to interact with everybody, you know. But I interact with everybody. That's my nature, and like I feel there's no need to lie about it. It's fine. Like if you put out a really heartfelt comment on my video, I am going to go and respond to it. Like I am very, very touched and very thankful that you found it in your heart to share that with me. It means a lot to me. So I got pretty overwhelmed, man. I got really overwhelmed and like I hope it's not a one-off thing and we can continue doing this. But like, like it
Yeah.
it was very
Yeah.
overwhelming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Ever since that video, I have seen a lot more engagement in the comments of your subsequent videos. So I personally
Yeah.
don't think it's a one-off thing, and
Touch wood, man. Yeah.
it's a great sign for things to come.
Touch wood, man. Fingers crossed, you
Yeah.
know.
Okay. And are there any particular YouTubers or content creators who've been an influence to you in the making of the Talking Head videos?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the reason why I got into YouTube and not Instagram that heavily is because I owe my life to YouTube. Like since 2005, I've not taught. I'm educated in architecture, and I went to 6 months to music. I've done music engineering, like sound engineering, and I've done
Mhm.
a film score like in NYU. Like I studied like film scoring in 2016-17 for a couple of months. But everything I've learned is because of YouTube. Like everything I know and figure out. So YouTube has been a very, very big part of my life. Like I sleep to YouTube every day. You know, like I would say like 80 to 95% of all my skill sets are because of YouTube. Like a lot of like what I know how to do is because of YouTube. But specific content creators, like the YouTube I watch isn't a lot of process YouTube. Like a lot of people watch like musicians educating or people doing mixing. Like that's not the YouTube I watch. Like I watch slightly more. So for me, like I would say, I'll tell you what. So let's say Veritasium is a YouTuber I follow a lot. Johnny Harris, like Johnny Harris for me, like stylistically unbelievable, right? Then I would say even like there's this YouTuber who's blown up he's pretty big and beautiful videos. They're very simple videos called Gawk's Art. So he does really cinematic, 21-year-old kid, amazing. Then also while I was learning filmmakings, then I used to start following a lot of film channels. So a lot of the way the film guys presented. Like if you look at YouTube, the quality of work done by film channels is here. Like and they're just talking about the camera, but just because they come from that film world, they just do it so well. So like a lot of the film channel guys were there. Rick Beato obviously is a great like influence, but my talking head is not like his at all. It's much more like Johnny Harris. Like, if you watch that type of stuff, right? And then yeah, man. So like I watch a lot of YouTube. Then there's this again, it's a political commentator called Ryan Chapman. Like I love the way he does his videos. So like I follow a lot of content creators, and which is why like YouTube for me was like I'm passionate about this. Like I'm passionate about like people are like, hey, do you want to do your talking head or do your music? I'm like, no, I want to do both. I'm fuzz culture. I talk, I think about things, and the things I think about, I make into songs and sing about. That's what it is. It's like a musician's perspective on life and philosophy and why we're alive. And those are the same like for example, why society hates artists, or the video I put out yesterday, which was how modern life breaks creative people, right? Like these are heavy topics, but these are the same topics which are condensed and abstracted are my songs. Like my song lyrics, if you were like, "Hey, let's break open your lyrics," they are not dissimilar from my talking head. It's just I'm expressing myself in a different way. And because I think like I'm a huge fan of YouTube, so like it's like it's not natural, but I have fans and people I look up to. It's not something I'm doing as कि यार content banana. It's something I'm really passionate about. Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, so the base ingredients are same, the alchemy is different.
yeah. Base ingredients are exactly the same. It's like and like my wife would attest to that, because she sits with me. And the minute you get me, like if I'm not working and if you've caught me like this, you're like, hey, Arsh has come now. He will talk about something for 4 hours. Okay, how this random thing will destroy 98 things. My brain it's like this endless river of consequences. And like it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but that's how my brain functions, right? And like it's very like this will lead to this, to this, to this, to this, and that's why this was inference. So my brain kind of is debating against its own self. Like it works like a lawyer's brain. So like I'm like, yeah, maybe people will prefer me talking so much from a distance rather than in person. So that's also a thing,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can so I can relate to that so much because I've been a regular viewer of YouTube since
Yeah.
2010, and I have seen all
Yeah.
the trends come and go and all the trending creators come
Yeah.
and go and change and
Hmm.
all of
Yeah.
that. But one thing I have noticed that is very disturbing to me is that the trend of rage baiting videos and videos that constantly talk about negative things, they are getting a lot more traction than the positive and constructive videos now, because your videos, which are not negative but which are talking about like heavy
Yeah.
topics that could put someone in a
Yeah.
negative mood, are you afraid or conscious of falling into that spiral against your will?
No, man, I think not at all. Not at all. Because honestly, the negative topics are the way I would phrase it as well. Because it's not even YouTube, man. It's humanity. Like newspapers have functioned of like death and murder since we know, and there's a reason for it. It's like I know why we get pulled towards negative news and negative things. It's because we want to know how to, like, in a very abstracted word, we want to know how to kind of build up a fence around a house. Okay, how tall do my gates need to be? How deep does my lock need to be? So the fear is real, right? And like people are attracted to it. They're always, mother. If you look at politics also, like it's politics of fear for the last 8 years. You know, for me, the way I look at it is like it's a very simple thing, like where I think it's like my videos do start from a negative space because I also think like I think in opposites, right? So it's like you hate dal, right? But it's not about you hating dal. It's like, why do you have a bias against this? So I mean, it's no, man. I've not thought of it like that. Like the titles, like, and the way I'm phrasing it is the way I would phrase it anyway. You know,
Mhm.
like and the thing is, like, if anyone sees the video, you'll know that actually it's not negative at all. It's not negative at all. It's more about getting us. It's about like me trying to make you hear my side of the story. It's like more like a lawyer than a like than someone like rage baiting. Because I don't think my videos are rage bait at all. Like at least I don't think
Not
so.
at all, not at all.
Yeah.
But sometimes what happens is even when you think your content is one thing, people will construe it as some other thing, and without your knowledge or input, it will be like perceived a different way, and you may find
Yeah,
yourself
yeah, yeah.
like backed into a
Like I
corner. So
got
there's a possibility of
like
that
for
happening.
the thousands of good comments I got for these last couple of videos, I've had enough people telling me, ki, yeah, you're just being a whining artist, right? Whatever, fuck you.
Mhm.
Like society doesn't hate art, otherwise they won't put them on a pedestal. I'm like, you're not talking about artists, you're talking about stars, right? But honestly, man, like I feel like we are musicians, right? हम पूरी life music बनाए हैं. पूरी life we put ourselves out there. And may like the way you construe it is up to you, man. Like it's like the way I look at my videos, like I'm from a metal background. Like I
Right.
grew up with negative imagery, which isn't talking about negativity. It's just talking about if I show you the problem right here, you know what to fix. You know,
Mhm.
like
Okay.
it's that type of vibe to it. Like that's the music also. I'm the most like NIN, like fucking like all the metal bands, like like everything. Like I'm attracted to depressive, sad, angry music. That's my thing, right? And
Right.
it's because it just shows you the pain point immediately rather than being like ignore the pain point. I actually find like a lot of happiness even more toxic because it's like because I feel like if you can like Ambani's apartment, right? If you can have an apartment that big while everyone around you is starving and you have an overarching look of like the slums where there are millions of people who can't feed themselves, and that's your view every day, and it doesn't affect you because you have positively made up your mind to not view the negative things in the world. I think you're a lot more dangerous. I think like by acknowledging negativity, it makes you slightly uh appreciative of life.
What is next for FuzzCulture? Of course, the most recent thing you did was the great song Fly Fly, which, as I told
Thank
you
you.
in private conversation, was like, giving me Queens of the Stone Age, era Vulgaris vibes. So
Yeah,
after that,
yeah.
what's next on the cards for FuzzCulture?
Okay. Next on the cards is we go heavy on the talking head videos. Like my plan is set like three talking head videos, one song, three talking head videos, one song, and like try to do this like try to finish a batch in a month. So like per month. So indefinitely, man, till we grow. We pick a lane and we drive in it till we die. That's my plan. Like,
Okay, great,
yeah.
great. So before we conclude this amazing chat, I have loved it so much. It has been so rewarding
Same
for me.
here.
I hope it's been rewarding for
It's
you
an
as
honor
well.
for me, man. Thank you so much for setting this up. I'm loving talking to you, and I'm glad we are interfacing like this also, man. It's so cool. And you're a You're a wonderful person to talk to, man. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, man. So
Yeah.
let's end on a fun note with what I'd like to call a quick Q&A.
Uh,
I'm going to ask you a
yeah.
couple of quick questions and you give me like quick answers, the first thing that comes to your head. All right?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
Okay,
go.
great. When and where was your very first Fuzz Culture gig?
It was in 2012 in
Mhm.
Gurgaon at a club I've forgotten.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite?
July
Okay, go
2012.
ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. July 2012.
July
Okay.
2012. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite and least favorite song from your catalog?
Favorite song from my catalog? That's a very tough one, man. Like I feel them at different points. Like I'm a very weird guy because I don't really listen to my music once it's done. So I don't go back. I would say a couple of songs that I haven't put out yet. And okay, let me put on my favorite songs. Can I go album by album and pick one which I think like so because
Oh,
I'll have
yeah,
eight or
sure.
nine babies.
Go
Like
ahead.
you know, eight or nine children I like to keep and the rest
Mhm.
can go. Let's say album by album like Indulge Divulge, I think Midnight Delinquents. Then from No, I would say Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Then 2019-20 from Escape to Where You Wanted. I would say like Escape to Where You Wanted the song Kids in the Dark. These two I really love those tracks. Then Strange Cities say I love the title track Strange Cities. And also there's an instrumental interlude called Brief Encounters. I have a very sentimental connection to that. So that one for sure. From Violent Delights, Bots Attack and Violent Delights. I love Bots Attack. I don't know how many people have heard it, but I love that track. And right now, I thought Fly Fly. I loved Fly Fly. That's why I wanted to put it out. And I'm really enjoying the covers also that we're coming up with. So like, you know, so I'm more of a future focused guy. So least favorite track, which is my child I hate the most? Very hard question.
Sophie's
Which
choice.
child of yours? Huh?
Sophie's
Yeah,
choice.
which child? Yeah, which child do you hate the most? Uh, I think a couple like there's a one of the songs in the 52 weeks thing. There was this really bendy, happy kind of sunset sea type of vibe track I did, which was a good. I didn't feel that much. Like some people liked it, but it was a little on the happier note for my musical tastes. Like I've realized the slightly edgy tracks like keep stay with me longer for me. Yeah.
Okay. Most underrated song from your catalog, the song which you wish more people would bring up or talk to you about.
Yeah, the Violent Delights EP, man. Like that like EP I think is really good. Like I'm
Mhm.
just going to blow its like horn right now. I wish people would hear the Violent Delight CP more. Like, you know.
Mhm.
And like I think bots like for me the most underrated track would be I think from Violent Delights Bots Attack, man. Like and like especially if you like look at that track that's written at the day GPT was launched, right? And the lyrics of that are GPT generated about how GPT will, how AI can potentially like infiltrate all our systems. And it's like a commentary in a song. Like I really think people should hear that track more. Like that for me is like one of my favorite tracks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Best and worst venue you've ever performed at.
Best and worst venue. I love the anti यार मैं दिल से बताऊं बेस्ट वेन्यू जहां लोग आए वर्स्ट वेन्यू जहाँ कोई आया नहीं सिंपल मतलब अगर मुझे चौराहे की बीच में खड़ा कर दो ना and बोलो कि भाई गाने बजाने हैं आज और लोग आ जाएंगे इट विल बी द बेस्ट वेन्यू like for me the best if people have aggregated and have come and they're vibing best venue if they're not vibing it's the worst venue you could have the best things like so for me like that's straight up what it is you know.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
If you had to pick one song with which to introduce
yeah,
someone to fuzz culture for the very first time, which song would you pick?
yeah. I think I'd pick my latest. Like I'd say, like start with Fly Fly because it's got that rocky elements. It's electronic-y. It's got the
Mhm.
emo lyrics. Like you know, I like the video also. So like something more recent, like where I'm kind of incorporating because like if you list like some of the newer stuff, you can go deeper into the older stuff because some of it will go into that more electro jazz like type of space or like pure up rock and roll or really some of it will go into really heavy synth stuff. But the
Hmm.
newer stuff I think has a combination of all of them. So I'd be like, check out Fly Fly, check out a cover of the Deftones track. Like, these are good starting points to
Hmm.
see where we kind of land at. Yeah.
Okay. Now, there is a chance that this next question may be invalid because you've produced a lot of commercial music. But if you could feature Fuzz Culture's music in any TV show or movie, which TV show or movie would you pick? Like major, which you're a fan of?
Black Mirror.
Oh, okay.
Straight up Black Mirror. Fuzz
Yeah.
Culture's made Fuzz Culture music, my channel, my songs, like it's just like yeah, it's just like you're watching Black Mirror in music form. Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
If you could meet one of your influencers personally and thank them for being your influence, which person would that be?
See, for me, the two biggest ones would be when I was young, it would be Dave Mustaine. When I was older, it would be Trent Reznor. I've had the
Hmm.
chance to meet Dave Mustaine, but I did not do it because I was scared of him. Right? And I
Okay.
think that, yeah, and you might be like, you go fuck yourself. Like, like I feel like I might just get like a boot. So like I'm like Dave Mustaine from a distance. I would love to meet Resna and be like, thank you for existing and thank you for taking the career choices you've done. So Resna, Mike Patton, like for sure. Also Mike Patton because diverse, huge careers, like so
Hmm.
fucking like all over the place. Like not like a I am this sound.
Yeah.
Like really opened out to the sound. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. First rock
Yeah.
song you ever heard?
Metallica's Fuel, 1997.
Okay. Okay. I think that will also count as the first metal song you ever heard.
Yeah, that was the first time I heard jam and I was done. I was like, this is great. This is music. Everything else is shit. Give me fuel, give
Okay.
me fire, give me that which I desire. Done. You know,
Ooh.
like yeah. I was like, this is
Okay.
sick, man. Like yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was,
First, first band t-shirt you ever bought.
first band t-shirt. I've not bought many band t-shirts. I think it must have been a Megadeth t-shirt. Yeah. Like
Uh,
yeah, like a
okay,
Megadeth
going with the
t-shirt.
time when you were idolizing Dave Mustaine. It was like,
I loved Megadeth. Yeah, yeah. Like yeah,
mm,
like I and like I like Mustaine's story a lot also. Like I like despite him being a cranky old guy, like that guy is like he's a resilient ass motherfucker. Like like
mm,
like I like people who kind of don't have short careers. I like people who push and keep moving. So yeah, so like yeah, that time and Megadeth was a huge influence on playing guitar. So I learned guitar on the Megadeth records, like Rust in Peace specifically, because I was so tough. I'm like, if I can play this, I'll be good at guitar. So like I spent so much time on that. So yeah, definitely a Megadeth t-shirt when I was in school.
okay. Dream gig you would love to attend or perform at.
Dream gig I would love to perform at any gig where my dream gig is that for Fuzz Culture we managed to sell in tickets, sell out shows. Like that's my dream gig, straight up. Like sell out shows for what we do and people who come to watch it. Like no festivals, nothing. Any venue, like over 300 to 500, we start selling out shows. For me, like if I can ever say like, that like, yeah, people are coming here and the tickets are being bought just for fast culture music. That's it. That's my dream gig. It could be in a tavern where someone's pissing on top of the roof, man. It doesn't matter to me. That's my dream gig. That's it. Like
Uh,
all tickets sold because of fast culture. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. That is like one of the
Yeah.
best responses I've got, man. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Cheers.
lastly, now that you are a full-fledged, YouTuber slash content creator, whatever you want to call yourself,
Yeah.
give me your excited YouTuber voice. Like conclude this video by telling everyone to like, share, comment, and subscribe to you
Yeah.
and to me. Give me your best shot.
Should I do it? I'll do it in the way I do it, right? Like I'll do it like so I'll do it in the way
Like,
I present my own stuff. So that's the only way I know. I'm like,
no, no,
If
like,
you
no, give me your exaggerated YouTuber voice. I'm sure you've come across
yeah,
that.
I'm gonna give that. I'm gonna give my YouTube voice for this. I'm like, thank you so much. If you watched this so far, I would love for you to comment on this and like if you can connect and meet in person, it would be an honor. And please leave a comment. Please subscribe. It means more to me than you'll know. And thank you so much.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Arsh. Thank you so much for your time. And I have to personally say, like, I think this may be the best interview I've done so far because we didn't just like scratch the surface and talk about all the fun stuff. We really got into some stuff that I can
Yeah.
personally tell was, kind of therapeutic to you to talk about. I think I have
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
greater understanding of how like not only how your music is but how you work as a person, and I think that all the
Yeah.
things we've talked about can be of great value to anyone who is listening to this from any
Absolutely. I
background. So
hope
thank
so,
you so
man.
much for
I
your
hope so.
time.
Fingers crossed. Thank you so much for doing the interview, man. Like, it was a pleasure being on a chat with you. I hope we do this again and we have to chill in person. And it was a really good conversation, man. Thank you so much. Like, it was really, really good. You know?
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah.
So, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Follow Arsh Sharma and FuzzCulture on YouTube and all social media. Check out his music wherever you can find it on all streaming services. And if you like this video, like the man said, like, share, comment, and subscribe, and you will definitely get more insightful conversations like this. Thank you for watching.